So welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a very short video. I just wanted to show that I'm still here. I'm still with it, but I'm not quite sure what's what. So live streaming at the moment, I'm not quite sure about it, but I'm going to try and get some videos out. So I'm still in the Mythmorphia, and I was actually playing with a #1 Derwent pen and my little book of colours, and I thought I'm going to take this with me. And I was sitting holding hubby's hand with one hand. This was on my knee because I was in the wheelchair, and I played with two colours. I played with I think that's myrtle green from the Peerless, and still managed to get all these watercolour effects. And I was also I used the rose tea red. So from those two colours and holding hubby's hand one-handed, I managed to sit there and try to chill a little bit and not be too frightened and upset. Not the best, but I was just actually colouring in for purely mental state. I just needed to chill. It had not very much artistic ability whatsoever. I just needed to chill at the hospital, and that seemed to be worked really well with, as I say, the water brush. I did have a tissue to keep a dry tissue this time to keep it dry, because I always say these are a bit too wet for my kind of watercolouring. So I managed to keep this quite dry. I say holding hubby's hand and stroking his hand, and because I think he was a bit frightened as well, and just having a bit of a play. And I did that over 2 days, and then we came home and I kind of finished off the flowers, this bit at home. And then I lost my mojo. I really lost the mojo, so I decided that I was just going to open this, and I think it's Ink 10s I used. And again, holding hubby's hand, sitting watching telly and flicking, one-handed job. So that is really good, and I'd just forgotten how much I love my little book. The pages are a little bit, I wouldn't say crinkly, but if you that was with Hydrus watercolours with a rigger, very dry, barely damp. There's a little bit of a crinkle, but very quick, very easy watercolour effect. And I find that the Derwent #1 is the driest of all of them. And if you squeeze and then dry it off with a tissue, again not a baby wipe because it's already wet, you can still get quite a nice watercolour effect. And I've been playing around the camera, so apologies, it might not be perfect, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that I was we're still here and we're still having a play. Really enjoyed playing with this. Again, just doing it for purely mental stability, just sitting there, and instead of just being a couch potato, playing with a little bit of colour and a little bit of a water brush, one-handed. Now you can do this even if you don't have my little colour book. All you have to do is to scribble some squares of colour of your water-based medium onto some good quality sketch paper, not watercolour paper, because that, as soon as you wet watercolour paper, it absorbs the colour, and we want the colour to sit on top, so it's all going on the brush, and in the colour book it's not going into this paper. All that colour is sitting on top. And I've had this a few years now, and I keep just re-wetting them, and then they dry, and then I just kind of scratch over the top with more colour. And this paper has lasted very, very well. I didn't expect it to last, which is why I made it in little squares. I thought it would disintegrate, but it hasn't done. And again, thousands of colours, just flicking mixing them up, choosing a colour, using it, looking here for a colour and deciding, is it weak, is it strong? That's how to work with this little book. Is it weak, is it strong? There's a little tiny circle missing from every one originally, and that's what I used to make the colour swatch. So there should be 10 shades in each one. So if you want it strong, you go where there is no paleness, and you know that that's pure colour. If you want it pale, just reconstitute the already used little pad, and that means that you are going to get a muted colour. You're going to get somewhere in between. You're not going to get the full colour, and that's why this works really well, because you have so much control than you would have at the end of a pencil. If you were just using the end of the pencil, you get so much more control. You can see it probably better on there. You get really deep colours and very pale colours, and so even though there's only one square of colour, you have so much scope there. And that's without actually mixing them together, which you could do if you really wanted. But the idea is, one-handed, you flick, you choose a green, you touch that green, you use it, you flick to another colour, and that's why it's very quick and it's very easy. And these are my art bars. So I've got the art bars in here now. They're just waiting to go in. And so I just wanted to say that hopefully I haven't forgotten about making videos, but this is what I'm doing at the moment. Hubby needs a lot of love and affection, so I can do this, but really need to be in the same room as him. So I thought I would experiment more and reuse my beautiful little book of colours, because I've missed it and I'd forgotten just how darn good it is. So thank you for watching. I'm going to try and get a couple of videos out every there won't be as many, but I'm going to try and get a couple of videos out in the evening. And of course that interferes with other people streaming live, so there will be some videos, but there may not be any streaming, possibly on a Thursday, possibly. But I think if I do that, then everybody can still see what we're doing. So I'm really loving this, again, because the hydras are in here. But I'm using them slightly differently. I'll probably do a video next of how to finish this off. And I've been rather naughty, and I have some new supplies coming soon. So that's going to be exciting. That's next week. So thank you for watching, and thank you for all your lovely comments. And if you have any requests, let me know, because I can actually pick and choose exactly what anybody wants to see. Or if you want to see anything again, I can go over something. And I'm hoping to try and do a little bit of mixed media as well. So if there's and going back to the oil pastels, my thumb is slightly better. I've been on these oils, just some oils and some cherry pills and some apple cider vinegar, and it seems to be a little bit better. So I'm going to try and do lots of different things. So I'm going to do, I think somebody requested the pastels, and I have 72 wonderful colours coming from Derwent soon, so that's going to be even more exciting. And but I will be working a lot more in my little book, and I will be putting the new 72 colours in here. So there will be another 72 squares, and those squares will give me 720 shades. So that's another 720 to go in here. But physically there will be 72 squares, and 10 shades in each square. And so thank you for watching, and thank you for all your wonderful comments. Hubby's on the mend. It was a small stroke, and then he had a bit of a blip and we were in again a few days later, but it's only time and love and affection that's going to get him better. So thank you for watching.